welcome to the Hater's Guide to Woodpeckers. Some of you, when you see that price tag on a Woodpecker's tool, you get sticker shock. You look like your mom and daddy left you at home alone. And others think that it's some type of status symbol among YouTube and woodworkers. Well, yes, I do have the time. It's half past the Delft Square, quarter to the rule. But I'm here to tell you there's a whole lot more to this company and their tools than you can imagine, and we're fixing to go through it. Now let's get this out of the way before we start. I have never been sponsored by Woodpeckers. I have never been given a tool by Woodpeckers. I'm just a big fan of high quality tools like theirs. And by the end of this video, you'll probably be a fan too. Woodpeckers started right here in the good old US of A in 1988 by Mr. Richard Hummel. Mr. Hummel was a hobbyist woodworker, had a full-time job, but he discovered while woodworking that he actually liked making tools more than he liked woodworking. And consequently, during this process, he got fired from his day job and started selling tools from Kunz that he had imported or had shipped from his family members in Germany. He started selling these tools off of his front porch. Now, I love the underdog story that you start in a garage or a porch and make your way. This is awesome. That's how Woodpeckers, the company, started. But the name actually comes from Mr. Hummel's wife, who got him some business cards for his birthday that just said Woodpeckers. He didn't really care for the name, but it stuck. And I think it's a good one. Now, one of the very first products that Woodpeckers have been famous for is their aluminum squares, the 1281, and there's different versions of that, but they are extremely accurate. And that's how Woodpeckers really started setting themselves apart from other tool companies. Mr. Hummel saw very early on that there was a gap in the woodworking market for these type of tools. He wanted to produce high quality and reliable tools for woodworkers. And he's made it a principle of his company to keep things made in the USA, even if that comes at the cost of price. Now, Woodpeckers is one of the only companies in the USA that's using the CNC optical system to ensure that their squares and other tools are extremely accurate. Not only that, is the scales on their tools are accurate as well using this same system. And I can vouch for that because every single woodpecker tool I've ever got, I line them up as soon as they come in the shop. It doesn't matter if it's a rule or a square or any other tool they have, they're all exactly the same as far as the measurements go. That means you can trust these tools to be accurate and you can intermix them while you're working on a project, which is key because you can't always do that with, say, a tape measure. They may be different. What is absolutely impressive to me is how Mr. Hummel has grown this company from the front porch to now a massive tool company here in the United States. He has a very large factory there in Strongville, Ohio, producing a lot of tools and employing a lot of people right here. That's what I like about this company. Yeah, their prices may be a little higher than a lot of other tools, but they are employing people here in the US and they're trying to keep that manufacturing here. As you can see by this factory, it is very large and has a lot of machinery in there, a lot of CNC machines to make sure that your tools are precise and accurate. I think that's the same word, precise and accurate. You know what I mean. Now, Woodpeckers hasn't been without a little bit of controversy as far as the tool market goes. I saw this post on Lumberjocks where a dealer looked like was complaining that the Woodpeckers had stopped taking orders for product that goes on the shelf and was kind of moving to an online only model. Woodpeckers started out distributing some of their tools to these local woodworking stores to have on the shelf for sale. But according to this post, in March of 2021, they started shifting their sales to more online. And a quote directly from this post, he says, "I hope people realize that if US manufacturers keep following what Woodpeckers has done, you won't have any woodworking stores left with quality tools to sell, demonstrate, and how to teach to use." I'm not really sure if that's exactly the case for all stores, because if you go to their website and click on the dealers, you'll scroll through a whole bunch of dealer lists that are local stores. So I think there's select stores that probably still have them on the shelf, but they are more online. Now, I understand the argument that you want to put your hands on something before you buy it. I like that about Woodcraft and other stores where you go in. So I would like to see them there, but they are also very high quality tools. I've never had any issues just ordering them online. I will say this though, I recently purchased these Delft Square stainless steel versions, and as soon as I took them out of the package, I was like, oh my gosh, these are fantastic tools. If I had to pick these up in any Woodpeckers along the way, I would have bought them right there. Now, one thing that sets Woodpeckers apart from any other hand tool company I've seen is constant innovation. They are always putting out new tools. It seems like once a month. You look at their one-time tools that they just continue to put out something new over and over and over and pushing the boundaries of what's possible with hand tools. I love that about Woodpeckers tools, and I think it's a really cool thing that they're doing. Now, I will say that some of those one-time tools I look at, I'm like, it's a little gimmicky. I don't think I would personally use that. But I like the fact that they continue to stretch themselves. And what's great about those one-time tools is sometimes those tools are a big hit and they become some of their best sellers or their more popular products. Case in point, the Delve Square stainless steel. It was a one-time tool. So was the Delve Square, and many other tools on that list. If you scroll back through there, you'll see several of those tools, one-time tools, are now in their product lineup. Now, Woodpeckers started out as basically making hand tools, but they have branched out into several other tools that I find really nice. Now, I have the Woodpeckers Stealth Stop system. I absolutely love this system on my miter saw station. It is fantastic. They also have miter sleds, spline jigs, miter gauges, router fences, and a ton of other things that they just keep adding to their product list. Now, Woodpeckers have fantastic warranties too. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like it for any reason, you can send it back. They give you money back. And there's a lifetime warranty on these tools for materials and craftsmanship. There's a lot of talk about the price of the Woodpeckers tools. Obviously, that's one of the main drawbacks to people who look at Woodpeckers. They are offended by the price sometimes, and some people just say, you know, those are really nice tools, they're just not in my budget. And that's understandable. However, there is a market for these tools or they wouldn't exist. They are very nice, very high quality tools, but they do come at a premium price. Now, there are alternatives out there to these tools. It's not like they are the only ones making a square. Look at iGaging, making a very similar square to this Delve Square SS. It's got a stainless blade, it's got the aluminum base, but it's made in China. And it just depends on whether you decide that's valuable to you or not. But if you're gonna support Made in America businesses, there's not a whole lot of high quality tool companies that are making tools in the United States. I have a whole video that compares Woodpeckers to some of the off-brand or fake, as I call them, in a video that I'll link in the end of this video. Now, I'm gonna tell you how you can save some money, actually get some money off of your Woodpeckers tools. But first, I wanna share 5 of my favorite Woodpeckers tools. Number 1, I just got these about a month ago and quickly became my favorite squares. These are the Delve Square stainless steel version. This little one is by far my favorite. I do like having the 7-inch, 8-inch one, whatever this is, but the little small squares are my favorite style of square. These things are extremely well made. They have a ton of features built right in. If you don't have one of these, I recommend it. Number 2 are these framing squares. The small and the larger, they have them up larger than this, but I really do appreciate and like these squares a lot. Again, lots of features. I like that they have a shoulder that when I lay it on a piece of wood that it doesn't fall over. It has that nice shoulder to hold it. All the markings, exactly the same as any other Woodpeckers tools you're gonna get. And they have the scribe marks if I wanted to do any parallel scribe lines. They also have the handy end gauge on there that you can use for setting up tools, blades, bits, etc. Number 3 tool that I really love a lot is the Paolini pocket rule, or a lot of people call it Paolini. I don't know, you tell me what it's called. But these things are handy as a shirt pocket. Now, just because you don't have a shirt pocket, don't make these not handy. I love having these in the shop. I use them all the time. The nice sliding stop block, it has the end scale again. It can set up on its own. These are just handy for laying out things in the shop. I actually prefer the aluminum version of these versus the stainless, but I prefer the stainless in the other. And as you can see, I have all 3 versions of them, but honestly, the one I really only ever use is probably the shorter of the 3. Number 4 is the Indexable combination square. This is a very expensive tool for what it is, but it is the best combination square I've ever used. I've had a Starrett brand, I've had Swanson brands. This is a fantastic square, even though it's quite pricey. I like that it has the Indexable feature where you push this little lever out, it's gonna stick and hold on your stock so it doesn't fall over. Just makes things easier when you're scribing parallel lines or just laying things out. It's also extremely accurate and square every time you move whatever you call this piece up and down the blade. When you screw it down, it's gonna be very accurate every time. You don't have to worry about that. Some of the cheaper brands or cheaper models you can buy at the big box stores and things, you're not gonna get a true square, especially on the longer runs, like a full almost 12 inches there. Now, an honorable mention before we get to number 5 is the edge rules. These were my very first Woodpeckers tools. A friend of mine gave them to me as a gift. And honestly, for about $100, give or take, you can get the whole set, 12, 24, 36. I keep the 36 over at the miter saw, 24 at the table saw, and this little 12 here in the toolbox. These are extremely handy to have just to have accurate measurements. Again, honorable mention, if I had to pick, these would probably be number 6. And And my number 5 favorite Woodpeckers tool is the Stealth Stop system that's on the miter station. I absolutely love this system. It is perfect for my setup because I'm able to lay those down and keep them out of the way when I don't need them. And when I do need them, I just flip them up and then I'm able to have stop blocks at the miter station. They were very easy to install, and a lot of people don't like the fact that you have to have a screwdriver to basically loosen and tighten these down. It's really not that big of a deal. I keep it in the drawer, and once you set it, you don't have to worry about it. And it has a fine micro adjustment, so you can really dial in those cuts to get extremely precise cuts every single time. I have mine set flush mount, but you can also have a fence mount or a double these, a flush and a fence mount. Like, there's several ways to mount these. They're extremely nice to have. I think I say extremely a lot. Now, there's a way to save money on Woodpeckers tools, believe it or not. One of the better ways to save money is to check out their website and scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll see an eClub sign up for your email address. Click there, put your email address in, you'll be signed up. It's that easy. They send out regular sales, and they have them really regular, like several per week, on various tools in their lineup. Also, if you're on your desktop PC, on the top left of their website, you'll see specials. Click on that, you'll see tools, wood, and extra. Tools are their specials on their tools they're currently running. Wood is actually wood that you can purchase from Woodpeckers and have shipped to you, whether that be blanks or certain size pieces. This is a good way to get some very nice prices on hardwoods. And yeah, they do sell hardwoods. Pretty cool. And then the extra are the non-Woodpeckers brand tools that they have on sale at the time. And the number 3 way to save money on those tools and lots of other tools is check out my website, 731woodworks.com/tool-deals. I have a deals page there that I post regular deals on a lot of different tools, including Woodpecker. Or you can sign up for the text alerts by texting deals to the number on the screen. The main thing people get hung up on Woodpeckers tools is the price. Most people see it and say immediately it's not worth it. Cost and worth are 2 different things. Just because it costs a lot doesn't mean it's not worth something to some people. Now, I'm not a fisherman or a hunter, and to the people that are, the cost of the boat is worth it. The cost of the hunting gear is worth it. To me, it's not, because that's not what I do. It's not what I care about. Same thing goes with many other aspects in life, but for nice quality premium tools, to me, the Woodpeckers line is worth it. But is it worth it to you? I would love to have the opportunity one day to go to Strongville, Ohio and tour this factory, maybe sit down with Mr. Hummel and have a conversation with him about his company and how he's grown it to this point. If you'd like to see that, comment below. And Mr. Hummel, I would be honored to be able to come meet you at some point and tour your factory. Again, just a fan. I would pay for the trip, pay for everything myself, not looking for a sponsorship. I just really appreciate an American-made company coming from the ground up. If you want to see how Woodpeckers stacks up against some fakes or knockoff tools that are very similar to the Woodpeckers brand, click that box to watch that video. Click in the box, get you the big old virtual fist bump, or the Hater's Guide to Ryobi tools right there. I only use my Woodpeckers on the finest of imported walnut. I got this imported from the far reaches of the Caribbean.